I'd be very cautious if I was an entrepreneur right now. Entrepreneurship it's a dirty little secret. It's been declining significantly for the last 6 years. And, you don't think of it that way because it's so glorified. It's such a kind of hot thing in the news to talk about Shark Tank and all that, all these kind of heroes of business on Shark Tank. And is followed popularly, but it gives the impression that entrepreneurship is booming, and actually it isn't. And particularly millennials have a problem. They have a lot of problems for the young entrepreneurs. It's the weakest part of entrepreneurship. The biggest section of the demographic, what do you call it, pattern of the new entrepreneur is someone between 50 and 65. That's the largest group of people who are forming businesses right now. And particularly young entrepreneurs, millennials, they're coming out one with a ton of debt. I mean, I don't know. I think that it's well over $1 trillion that these people have, and most people bootstrap their start. And if you have all this debt, it just limits your ability to take risk. In addition, it's hard to get started. I mean, I don't think big companies mind it so much, but we have some of the same problems that Europe does, in that we're overregulated. It's all with good intent to control bad things happening and stuff like that. But when you layer things more and more and more on of control, it takes away the freedom to invent, and you spend a ton of money complying with this stuff, and it's making it much harder to be a creative businessman. And I think particularly for the young millennials. So I think I'm actually fairly pessimistic about entrepreneurship right now, and I love entrepreneurship. It's been a great personal, spiritual solution to my life, as well as a place of financial growth for me. But I don't think people are taking into account how all this, particularly since 2008, there's just been a ton of regulation, and the banks and people taking advantage of it has had some effect. But what they've done is they've overreacted to that, and it's. I think it's a conundrum and a problem for the future of business, even in this country.
Absolutely. And we see one of the areas that we spend some time on is looking at retail and how much retail growth is shifting online to platforms such as Amazon. Walmart announced that they're growing, to the detriment of organizations like Sears, who I actually worked for back in my Dean Witter Reynolds days in the 80s, our parent company, and others. How do you see some of the areas like retail? Are the big platforms like Amazon or Walmart an asset, or are they just kind of limiting the field for standalones?
Well, they're certainly limiting standalones right now. I mean, brick and mortars are not doing well, from Macy's to Sears to almost anyone you can name. They're all losing business to the online. So I don't know if that's good or bad long term. I mean, some of it is capitalist, creative destruction, as things change and progress. I mean, we don't have buggy whips anymore. It was a big business at one point. But cars kind of took care of that. And, it could be that retail stores or brick and mortar companies are going to become the buggy whip of and victim of the I generation, as it were.